College of Arts and Commerce. I am happy to introduce our resource person. He is having more than 20 years of experience in maths. She is doing the research in complex analysis. She received her PhD in 2018. Her designation is as Associate Professor and also Head in Team of Academic Affairs in one of the well-known institute, Theivanai Ammal College of Women in Villupuram. She have published many international and national level journals, and she is also a editor member of many pure and applied mathematics journals. That is like International Journal of Engineering Research and Technology, Sunlax International Journal, Advance in Science, Technology and Engineering Systems Journal, International Journal of Scientific Development and Research, and Science Frontier Research Journal. She is also the member of Indian Mathematical Society, Indian Society for Technical Education. Under his guidance, many workshops are conducted and many symposium was conducted by ma'am. She received many awards and she has eminent achievements in her service. Welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your introduction. And I first of all, I would like to thank the management of S.S.T College of Arts and Commerce and the principal of S.S.T College and Maithili ma'am for inviting me to give a talk on this wonderful Pi Day. And before that, I would like to thank my management, the managing secretary and chairman sir, Thiru Sandil Kumar sir, and the joint secretary ma'am, Nisha Sandil Kumar ma'am, and my principal, who gave me permission to present this session in your esteemed institution. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Shall I proceed, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Whether my screen is visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
One minute.
You can keep slideshow.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And today we are going to talk about world of pi and the importance of pi where we are using. So since it is a very unknown constant value which is used in mathematics so far, but people are not unaware of this, and I congratulate the team of S.S.T College to give awareness of this constant to the students of S.S.T College of Arts and Commerce. And the pi value is application in so many areas. We will see one by one where this pi is used and what are the history of these things one by one. And let me introduce myself and Maithili ma'am as earlierly she introduced. But myself, Dr. Dhanalakshmi, working as Dean of Academic Affairs and Associate Professor and Head of Department of Mathematics, Theivanai College for Women, Villupuram, which is located in Tamil Nadu. And let us start. What is Pi Day? So, what is Pi Day? Why we need to celebrate this? So, Pi Day is nothing but is the annual celebration of the mathematical concept of pi. Even though it is the mathematical concept, so many applications or so many disciplines are using this constant pi value. The next question arises.
Ma'am, slideshow, yes, are you able to keep slideshow?
Ma'am?
Slideshow.
Slideshow?
Yes, ma'am. Above, it is not visible in our screen, ma'am.
1 minute, ma'am. I think it takes a little time to this. Whether the screen is visible now, ma'am?
Page is visible, PowerPoint.
Okay.
Nearby animation slideshow is there. Home inside design animation slideshow. You please click that above.
Then now in the screen, what is Pi Day is reflecting, right, ma'am?
Word of Pi Day.
Yes, ma'am. Then after that, we have this question mark symbol.
No, that you slideshow, if you are keeping, it will be moving next.
Whether this one is Pi Day is an annual celebration of the mathematical concept pi. Whether this term is visible, ma'am?
No, ma'am. First page only. Your name slide.
I think due to the connective issues, it may be shown little late, ma'am. I think.
Okay.
Still, you have the first page alone.
Yes, ma'am. Your PowerPoint screen.
Yes.
File
I agree. Yes, ma'am. 1 minute, ma'am. I just restart the program.
It's changed now, ma'am. You keep in slideshow. See
like
that.
okay, fine, ma'am. Okay, fine. So, what is Pi Day and why we are celebrating all those things? We will see one by one. So, Pi Day is we are going to celebrate every March 14th. So, annual celebration of mathematical concept pi in some Europe countries, they can celebrate 22/7, the 7th month of 22nd date, they can celebrate. Why? Because we can have another value of pi is 22/7. So, in the East countries, they can celebrate March 14 as Pi Day. In some countries, they can celebrate 22/7 as the Pi Day. So, whatever it is, both values are same, not exactly same, but we can celebrate these days as Pi Days in various regions of our world. Well, coming to the next point, who created pi? So, this is the important questions. Who created pi? So pi was created in the year 1906 by William Jones. William Jones first used the symbol to represent the Platonic concept of pi as the way to show that it can never be reached in numerical terms. Actually, in the very beginning, they are not aware of the pi value exactly. And moreover, William Jones is not much known mathematicians in those days. So here we can get some interesting fact that what are all the things we are using now, it's not necessary to invented by a great mathematicians. Even the small concepts which is used worldwide may be invented by the little known mathematicians like our William Jones. And he only invented and created the pi value, and he was born in the year 1675 and was most noted for his use of the symbol pi that represents the ratio of the circumference of a circle and its diameter. So this is the very important. So the whole concept of this presentation is lies between this sentence alone. That is the ratio of a circumference of a circle and its diameter. So whenever we are going to talk about pi, it should comes in the mind two terms. One is circumference and diameter. So whenever we are talking all those things in a definition format, some may understand. So in this regard, and we are focused in all the students except the math majors or those who are not related to maths. So I consider those audience, I can represent these definitions in a pictorial form in the upcoming slides. So just give a concentration of this, which is nothing but the relations between the circumference and the diameter of the circle. That's all. This represents the definition of pi. So even in our school days, we know that while we are teaching the teachers some concept to us, when she express all those things in a practical session, we can easily understand the concept. The same thing I can use in my presentations too. Then why is Pi Day celebrated on March 14th? So what is the necessity of these things? So as I said earlier, the pi value is 3.14, so that we can consider the 14th day of March consider as a Pi Day. And one more additional important of this day is Albert Einstein's birthday also. So these two, the major events are occurring in this particular day. Then the history began Pi Day. So is there any assumption? So how long days we can use pi? So unbelievingly, we have an answer. nearly 4,000 years before itself, we can use the pi value. It's amazing, right? So while building the, even in pyramids, while building the pyramids, they can use the concept pi. The thing is, they can't use the exact value of pi as we are using now. So in the initial stage, in so many regions, they have so many values. Whatever it is, 3 point is same. But after the decimal point, in some regions, they have some other values. Some may have 2, 3.2, some may have 3.5, some may have 3.7, like that. So since it is 4,000 years ago, the people not exactly get the value. So the history behind pi day is the ancient Babylonians calculated the area of the circle by multiplying 3 times the squares of the radius. So while we are going to calculate the area of any field in the form of a square or rectangular, it's quite easy to calculate the area. Why? Because we know the sides of the squares and rectangular. So it's not much difficult to calculate the area of those figures. But when we come to the shape circle, it's too difficult to find the area of the circle. So here our pi plays a major role. So Babylonians at the initial stage, they can calculate the area of the circle by multiplying 3 times of squares of the radius, and they gave the value of pi. As I said earlier, they can approximately give the value of 3, and they can use this value to construct the buildings. On a Babylonian tablet, would represents a value of about 3.125. Yes, after 3, they have some values which is not equal to all the regions at those days. So this method was also tried by many others from that era, yet each got a different answer. So they can begin to use the pi symbol that we know today. So everyone gets some other values, 3.125, 3.126 or 3.456, like that they can get so many values. They are using the common term pi, what we are using now. The pi symbol was then passed on to William Jones, who figured out that pi was an irrational number, which is how pi came to be today. So those who are in mathematics area, they can know the irrational number. So I want to explain that too. Why? Because we concentrate all the participants, all the disciplines participants, so that I can give the definitions for those things too. Why is pi called a mathematical constant? So before we enter this concept, let us come to the topic what we can call as a constant. And the difference between the constant and variable is variable always changes its values, so that we can call it as variable, whereas a constant is never change its value, so that we can consider as a constant. And now that is a question arises, why we can especially called pi as a mathematical constant. We can call pi as a mathematical constant. Why? Because it's never changed its value, whatever the size of the circle you are going to take. Suppose if you are going to take a bangle, the size is very small. If you are going to take a tire of a car, that is also circle format, and it's somewhat big when compared to the bangle. And if you are going to take the giant wheel of a circus, that is also circle, but while compared to the size, it's somewhat very big in our, while comparing our bangles. So what are the size of the bangles you are going to take? Either it may be a bangle, it may be a tire, it may be a giant wheel in a circus, whatever it is, the shape of, the size of the circle, the pi value will never change. That's the beauty of the pi value. So once the value pi never change for whatever the size of the circle, so we can consider it as a constant. So then we can questions arises in somebody's mind, how it should be equal, in what cases. Why? Because when comparing these 3 things, all are different in size, then how it's be equal. So while coming to this thought in your mind, you just recall the definition of a pi, which is nothing but the ratio of the diameter and circumference. So whatever may be the size, you need not to worry about, just consider the diameter and the circumference of the circle, then you can get the pi value constantly. We will see one by one. And here we can say pi stays the same number. Sorry, pi stays the same no matter how big or small the circle is. Constant never change. Therefore, pi is considered a constant. So that we can consider it's a constant. Pi value never change at whatever the shape of the, whatever the size of the circle. Whether it is a big or small, we can consider is a constant value. And the next question, whether the pi is a rational number or irrational number or real number, the question rises. Why? Because whenever we are going to talk about the numbers, immediately the next question arises, what type of number it is. Why? Because for each characters of the numbers, we can define the properties of this, so that we are check whether the pi value belongs to what type of numbers, and obviously we can get irrational numbers. So what is irrational numbers? If something questions arising one by one, we should know the each and every term meaning. So what is irrational numbers? So irrational number, the difference between rational and irrational number, just in the red and blue format, which is in the slide, where rational is nothing but you can write any number in the form of fraction. So fraction is nothing but we can have some numerator and denominator that we can call it as a fraction. So we have some examples too. The first thing is -2. Then how we write -2 as a fraction format? It's a single number. Then how we can call it as a fraction? We can write -2 in the form of -2 by 1. So we can call it as a fraction. So any real number can be written in the fraction format. Suppose we are going to take 4. 4 can be written in the form of 4 by 1. 10 can be written in the form of 4 by 1. So those numbers which is possible to write in the form of numerator and denominator, which gives some finite value, we can call it as rational. This is very important, which is give a finite value. Then we can say it is a rational. Then irrational. So the definition itself says rational, irrational. Irrational is nothing but those are things which is not satisfy those conditions. We can call it as irrational. So a non-repeating, non-terminating decimal. So how is in mind? Irrational is also in the form of numerator and denominator format, where the answer must be non-repeating. That is, at any case, the number should not be repeat. That is, suppose if you have some value 2.456, 456, 456, 456, if the value repeated. For example, if you are taking 10 divided by 3, so you can get 3.111 like that. So the number is repeating. Okay, so non-repeating value. So pi is non-repeating, no values, no numbers in repeating after the decimal of that value. And also non-terminating. Non-terminating, it should not have any end. So those numbers we can call it as irrational numbers. So non-repeating and non-terminating decimal, we can call it as irrational. So pi is also irrational number. You can't imagine what is the decimal value after the point. What we are having 3.14159, it goes on like that. And we have $10 trillion, 10 trillion digits we are having after the decimal point. We have 10 trillion numbers we are having, and still it goes on. And still it goes on. No one can compute that. Since it's non-terminating and non-repeating, we can call it as a irrational number. So pi, we can call it as irrational number. So that we can say, you cannot write down a fraction that is equal to pi. You should not write. That is some fraction value, the values which is non-terminating and non-repeating. So, okay, so that we can call it as a irrational number. Then, so as I said earlier, so this is the what we can say, the giant, the very big value of pi. What are the terms we are having? What are the after the after the point value? How many terms we are having? How many times of the numbers one we are having? How many numbers of zeros we are having? All these things are explained in this slide. See here. The first million space, first million. So we are going to consider only the first million places alone. So as I said earlier, we have nearly 10 trillion places we are having. So I'm going to consider only the first million places alone. So in that first million places, it is 99,959 times 0 alone occurs. Similarly, 99,750 times of ones and twos, threes, 4, 5, 6, 7s, 8 and 9. So imagine, so that single digit 1 occurs this much of time, and 2, 3, zeros, all these things occur this much of times in a first million places of your pi value. In the first 6 digit, so this is the value all we know, 3.14159. 3.14159 is the term or is the value we can use usually for our calculation purpose. So this, especially this 6 digits can appear at least 6 times among the first 10 million decimal places of pi. So we are going to consider 10 million places. 10 million places. In 10 million places, only this number occurs 6 times. So imagine, so there is no repetition of this one. If you are going to consider the 10 million places, these 6 digits occur only in 6 times. Very interesting, no? And we have one more link. That is, this link is, while I just wait, I show you, then only you can come to know what is pi and how we can use this much. Ma'am, whether my screen is visible, ma'am, that is web page.
No, ma'am, not at opened.
1 minute, ma'am. I just
Yes.
stop my slides and then I can share the slide.
Yes, yes.
Web page. Yes. Now, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So everyone can use this page. The page name is the pi search page. And here, if you're going to type any number, example, your birth rate, or your mom's birthdays, father's birthday, whatever it is, if you're going to write in a sequence format, surely that numbers lies in the pi value. For example, I just type my birth date. See here, 17/5/1983, the string 17/5/1983 occurs at position. So after the decimal point, my date of birth lies in this position. This string occurs 1 times in the first 200 million digits of pi, isn't it? So imagine how big the pi value. Okay, so no one still complete the pi value. It goes on. So if I'm going to take this value, that is 17/5/1983, it happens only 1 time in 200 million digits of pi. Anyone can try. Surely your date of birth will lies in this thing. So the search page is nothing but angio.net/pa query. While you are entering this page, if you give any number, surely that number comes in the pi value. So that much of big value we are having pi. And all these things we are not studied in our school days. So that's what I want to share here. So in our school days, what we have, we are using this pi value only for calculating the area of the circle and circumference of the circle, and what are all the results related to the circles. We are using the pi value, and we never worried about why that pi value occurs and why we need all those things and how it possible or how we use this pi value for all type of circles or all type of radius. Whether if you're going to take the radius value is 2, we can use the pi value. While you are going to take the radius value is 22, we can use the same pi value. How it comes? So while these questions are rising in our school days, we are not worrying about those days. We just memorize the formulas and complete the exams and scoring the marks. And we should know why we are using that. And yes, so since I said earlier, it has 10 trillion digits the pi value, there is a competition for memorization. So how many people memorize the pi value? So in very earlier old years, so 1540 to 1610, one Sionan just calculating 36 digits of pi. So just he memorized only 36 digits. After that 3.14159, it is possible to him to memorize only 36 digits. And even those days, they have a competition like this. How much digit you can memorize for the pi value. In 1995, Goku memorized 14,195 digits of pi, and it is considered the pi champion. So imagine a single person memorized 14,195 digits after the decimal of pi value. So still, after that also we have one more person memorized the number of digits after that. And a Japanese scientist discovered 1.24 trillion digits of pi using a powerful computer in 2002. And here I want to tell one thing. You people know that the computer revolutions or arises this day, and we can't imagine a world without computer. Even starts from our supermarket to share market. We need a system, and the speed of the system must be very essential. So if in our daily life we can use the normal system, while we are using the computers for research purpose, we need somewhat super fast computers. Latestly we have quantum computers also, right? So how they can check the speed of the computers? Which thing they are consider? So in what way we can tell this computer is super fast when compared to the earliest available? Is there anything? Is there any measurements for that? We have based on the pi value alone, we can tell the computer is super fast when compared to the previous version. You just give the scientists check how many digits the system or the computer finds. That's the fast of the computer. That's all. They are not giving any much some other programs or some other terms to check the speed of the computer. Just see in our 2002, the powerful computer finds just 1.24 trillion. Isn't it? 1.24 trillion. Now we have 10 trillion digits, comparatively 10 times larger by using the superfast computer than 2002. So how they are checking, how they are telling this computer is better than 2002, this computer is better than 2022. In what way they can say? They can just identify the pi value, how they can find, or how it is explains, or how number of digits the computer finds. Based on that, they can tell the computer is super fast compared to the earliest versions. This is very amazing, right? We can't imagine pi is the useful of pi, this one. Okay, right. And not only this, whenever we can come to the concept of circles, pi is exactly works. And we have at the end of this presentation, we have a video. In that video, it comprises all the presentation contents of that. So we can see that too also later. So this is a memorization concept. So why I can use this concept in this slide means the importance of pi in those days. They can memorize and do the calculations. So without using pi, they can't construct any buildings based on circles, curves, all those things. Only the question may arise, why we need to build the things, or especially the bridges. Under the bridge, we have a semicircle format only. I think so many people are noticed under the bridge format is semicircle, which why? Because we have that shape means which holds so much of weight without any loss, so that they can prefer the arch shape or semicircle shape. So once it comes the semicircle or circle format, pi automatically comes to works there. Yes. So how pi is used in math? As I said earlier, we have pi is the ratio of circumference of a circle to its diameter. You never can find the real circumference or area of a circle because we don't know the real value of pi. So what are the values we are going to use? That is, in order to find the area of the circle, suppose if I'm going to use the formula 2 pi r, the radius I'm going to calculate 20. So 2 into, instead of pi, either I can put 22 by 7 or I can use 3.14159 alone. I'm going to consider only 5 digits. After the decimal, only 5 digits I'm going to consider. Since it is a 10 trillion places we are having, I'm going to consider only 5 digits. So it should not be exact value of the area of the circle. So it is some approximately value what we are calculating for the area of the circle as we are using in our present calculations. So 2 pi r, if you are using r value by 2, so you can get some values. So which is somewhat equivalent to the area of the circle, which is not exactly equal. The reason is we are going to consider the pi value by 3.14159. Only 5 digits we are going to consider. So the value is somewhat approximate alone, so that they can tell you never can find a real circumference or area of the circle. The reason behind that is we consider only 5 digits. Since out of 10 trillion digits, we can only 5 digits consider, then how it be exact value? So it is somewhat approximately equivalent value. Then, yes. So repeatedly, I just want to share these things in each slide. Why? Because so that the audience have these things in mind. While coming to the pictorial representation of this presentation or this concept, they can easily know what is circumference, what is diameter, all those things. Yes, the next one is Maithili ma'am, I want to use this one as a slideshow. Why? Because since it is animated, so that the audience can know that how it is. Can you tell whether my screen is visible, ma'am, fully?
Beautiful, ma'am. Slide show you can keep me so
1 minute, ma'am. Whether it is clear now, whether it is visible now, ma'am?
it is only
The animation is moving?
No, ma'am.
No. So why I used this so that the audience can understand that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, are you able to see the save button above? Save button. Save button.
Where, ma'am?
Above.
Yes, ma'am.
Near to that animation is there. Right, come to right. Insert design animation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Slideshow.
Yes, 1 minute, ma'am.
Your cursor is moving, ma'am. Slideshow.
Yes.
Click there, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
From current slide.
Current slide. Whether is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. You click that, ma'am.
Okay, fine, ma'am. So if you are going to consider first,
1 second, ma'am. It is not visible.
Yes, ma'am.
You click again.
Whether it is visible, ma'am?
No, ma'am. It is in your that PPT page only.
Oh.
From beginning, are you able to click, ma'am, whether it is coming from start?
Yes, ma'am. From beginning.
Otherwise, should I share from my side?
Oh, okay, ma'am. Fine. Especially this slide, ma'am. Why? Because the animations only explain what is diameter, what is circumference, so that easily everyone can understand. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Participant, sorry for the inconvenience. 2 seconds, I am sharing my page.
Shall I stop sharing, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
May slide?
Yes, not at.
Yes, ma'am. 1 second.
Yes.
Sir, may पोस्ट बनाने का स्लाइड शो करने नहीं है इधर। हाँ 1 second।
Yes, yes. Yeah, ma'am. Your screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Can you come to slide number?
This one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
1 second. So animation coming now, ma'am.
Yes, 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 yes. Everything is working, ma'am. Fine.
Nice PPT, ma'am.
Ma'am, everything I used for animation, but instead of showing
now,
that.
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes,
yes,
it is coming.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. In this slide, yeah.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. 1 minute, ma'am. I just explain these things, then we can move to the next one. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So as I said earlier, pi is nothing but the ratio of diameter and circumference. We have a circle which is center C, and we have two more points E and F. The line between E and F, we can call it as diameter. And while we are coming for circumference, the next one, no? Is circumference. Next one. Yes, the red color of that circle, we can call it as circumference, which is moving throughout, right? So that is, we can call it as circumference. The thing is, how they can define the pi is nothing but the diameter size. Suppose if you are going to take the diameter size 2, then the circumference is nothing but 3.14 times of your diameter. That's it. So it's amazing, so that we can use this pi value through the constant value or whatever may be the size of the circle. Ma'am, shall I proceed now?
Ma'am, are you able to explain in this also? This working.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So yes, while you're coming to this slide, we can easily identify. See here. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So this is the diameter, and using the diameter, we have a circle, and we can split the diameter 3 times, and the remaining part is 1.14. Yes. That is the what we can say beautiful of pi. So whatever the size of the circle you are going to take, the diameter is gives the circumference value 3 times 0.14, and we can consider 0.14, 159, all those things. So if you are seeing this diagram repeatedly, easily it comes to know why or pi is used worldwide as a constant for whatever the shape, whatever the size of the circle. See here, diameter, and we have the circle, and split the circle, and we have the circumference as a straight line and 3 small pieces as the diameter. All these 3 pieces along with 0.14 gives you a circumference. That's it. So you can take any size of the circle. You can take the diameter 3 times and 0.14. Automatically you can get the circumference of the circle. So this is the beauty of pi value. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Next one. Yes, and we have some facts related to our pi. Not only pi, the first fact is, 1 minute, ma'am. First fact is the true value of pi can never truly be found till date. Till date, we can't find. the exact value of pi. Why? Because it's going on. Since pi is an irrational number, the true value of pi will never truly be found. Pi is represented by a Greek letter, make it easier to use since there is no exact value. So if you represent some value or some factorial for that pi value, so we can use the term pi. Throughout the world they are considered, and still we are using that. And the thing is, we can't find the exact true value of pi. So that I said earlier, what are the area we are going to find of us, find the area of the circle which is not exact value of the area of the circle, which is somewhat equivalent, somewhat approximately to that value. Instead of 4 is the exact answer, 3.9999 it goes on. That is the answer we can get. So we can't say it is exact value of the area of the circle. Okay, next we have the fact 2. Fact 2 is yes, you know that fact is. So one thing I want to clear here, you know, March 14th is celebrated as a Pi Day, and the exact time to celebrate this is 1.59 p.m. So if you have a plan to celebrate Pi Day next year, you can start your celebrate exactly at 1.59 p.m. Why? Because 3.14159 is the value we can use for calculating. So 3.14 represents the 14th of 3rd, that is March, and 1.59 we can consider as a time. So we can exactly take all the values of pi, we can use it at the particular day. So 14th March at the time 1.59. So most people know that Pi Day is celebrated on March 14th. So we can use the timing also. Yes. And the fact 3, American is. We can come to the next slide now. No issues. Yes. Fact 3 is nothing but the first 6 digits appears at least 6 times. Earlier I said, so I just compress all the concept and give as a fact. So at least 6 times among 10 million decimal places of pi, and pi has been studied by humans for 4,000 years. You imagine 4,000 years itself, we can use this concept. Then we can proud of ourselves, our human beings. Why? Because 4,000 years we can use this, and we can use this for building the constructions, even pyramids too. And one of the most recognized mathematical constant in the world is pi. So why? Because in some other countries, some set of region peoples, they can use the terms, and some set of region peoples, they can use some other terms, they can notate it. Why? Because while you are studying some other author books, for examples, or Indian author books, or Western countries or Eastern countries textbooks, the subject is same, but they can use the notation is different format. The thing is, they can study it and they can done the calculations in that way, and similarly the other regions too. Whereas pi is concept, pi is used worldwide, they can recognize and they can use this mathematical constants throughout the world without any deviations. They can use this. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so this video I want to share. So we have this video, and then we can come to our session. Can you play that video, please?
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. You just click the link, ma'am. It's enough. It automatically directed to the YouTube.
Yes, ma'am. I am able to see whether it is.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It takes a little bit time. No, ma'am. Not yet visible.
It was started in my screen.
No, ma'am. It's not visible. Think not visible, ma'am. Ma'am, can you copy the link and play it? Maitri ma'am, the video is playing. Yes.
Ma'am, it is not visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Should I play, ma'am? Or you are playing?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Stop. Okay, try to measure the diameter of radius. Just that's magic. Let's get this. Diameter will always be the same, no matter how big or small the circle gets. Estimates of the year in Belgian Greek have Chinese repetitions, and it's
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
able to continue
Yeah.
it? Because it is the
Yes, ma'am.
YouTube video. The
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
participant can
Okay,
see it.
fine, ma'am. Fine.
Yes,
Okay, okay, fine, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I just prefer this video, it compresses all the content of our presentation. So it gives what are all the applications, not even the pyramid circles, even in physics. And we wonder about that, we can find the universe area. So while we are talking about to calculate something related to the universe or the Milky Way galaxy, all those things, we can use our constant pi value. So this is a very amazing thing of pi, and which is we are not aware to know of these things. So that I just shared my little knowledge about pi, and all the datas or I can received from the textbook, PDF, or PowerPoints, and some videos like this. And I'm not nothing find anything new. I just combine all those things and make a single PPT to easily get the concept of pi, so that the learners can easily get the concept. Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It was the amazing session.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was the knowledge and awareness of pi, even though for maths people who are using, they may knowing in different perspective, I think so. So a very nice presentation for
Thank you, ma'am.
the day of word of pi, ma'am.
Thank you.
It is my team. It is my team. It is a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion of World Pi Day on behalf of S.S.T College, who are celebrating this occasion to remembering the use of pi. The best person explained here about the pi in different perspective way is Dr. Dhanalakshmi ma'am. Let me first of all thanking her, and also before that I am thanking Almighty God for making the today's session a resounding success. I am thanking Dr. Dhanalakshmi ma'am to spend his valuable time. When I am approaching her, she was busy in some other work, even though she was very much interested to present this session for our students, and also many participants apart from students also join, ma'am. They may also get the benefit of this session. So
Thank you,
thank you, ma'am. We are grateful to our founder principal, Dr. Puraswani sir, and IPSC coordinator, Dr. Pushpu Puraskani ma'am, always take initiative to have session for the benefit of students. And thank to all our BPs and faculty members, technical team, last time always supportive and having back support to our session conducting all the teachers, students who have participated in this session and they get the benefit and new knowledge about Pi on this World Pi Day. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks again. The feedback form
Thank you,
is
ma'am.
given in the chat box. Participant fill this and you will be getting the certificate within 5 to 7 days. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for spending your valuable
Thank you, ma'am.
time and
Thank you.
knowledge. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Shall I leave?